Welcome back, episode 10 today, and for the next few episodes we'll be getting into what's known as the Radix Realm, a life force philosophy which has many spheres and has been explored throughout history. But let's talk to a Radix practitioner himself, the Mr. Aldo Borme.
Thanks, Rob. I'm no longer a Radix practitioner, but I am still devout when it comes to the nature of the Radix. And I still talk about it, and it can be related to many things, many spheres. And the Radix realms are best talked about in the spirit of as if. As if is a way of using your own imagination to describe what it is. The meaning that's ascribed to that word is that it's a source. It's the foundation. It's the depth of everything there is. So that's a big statement. And can we live up to it? I'm going to try to talk about it in several different ways under the as if format. So the first one I want to try to talk about, which basically will be a thread that runs through all of it, is vitalism. So the most pervasive account of what the Radix might be is the doctrine of vitalism. The vitalist realm of thought insists that living organisms are animated by a vital force, an immaterial force, a mysterious substance. Henri Bergson's version was referred to as élan vital. You hear people talk about élan vital, is the spirit of life. This is his quote, "Life is sustained by a unique immaterial force that directs growth, reproduction, and repair." It sounds like life itself. When I made a reference to it the last time, I made an equation that it was like my soul. It was the deepest part of myself, and that I had to go there. So, did I really go there? Yes, in my imagination, as if I went there. The first paragraph above details how a realm of thought, the as-if conjunction, conjoins, that is, put together, synthesizes, melds, two disparate notions into one idea. The ideation that there is a force, number one, and how that force gives rise to life, two. An equal realm of thought, brought about by another as-if function, might be that both energy, a force, and spirit, an immaterial substance, emerges simultaneously as life.
Thanks, Aldo. And I remember in episode 9 you mentioning Radix being the root. Can you repeat what you had said before and elaborate?
The actual definition of the word has many meanings. The word has been expanded to mean the radius or radio, radical, and there are probably more. I know that in mathematics the radix has a meaning. I'll get to that when I approach mathematics and the radix. Also, years ago I saw something that was talking about a group of dancers that called themselves the Radix. And there are actually practitioners now that are practicing Radix in Australia. So the discipline is still alive, but not as much as it was in America. And since then, I have gone on to writing and doing some other things. But I've been so influenced by it because it is a way of thinking about several things. Even now, consciousness, when one thinks about the separation between mind and body, what is it when it does come together? For example, consciousness is a big subject. Men, women are writing about it all the time, but it's still only one half of the story. Materialism, which is, we know that matter is now considered to be energy. So that energy is one way of thinking about it as well, and that's still one half. The radix includes both ideas. The source includes both consciousness and material. So if one wants to think about it, and the philosophy that's going to underlie this in a future talk is going to make another type of, I will insist not on vitalistic ideas, but more on a metaphysical idea that both matter and spirit emerge, come into life simultaneously. Don't ask from where, because nobody will, all you will get is another idea of a origin, life's origin. So that's why it's so, to me, it's so important, because all philosophy leads to either matter, which is energy, or spirit, which is consciousness. So no one, except for the Radix people who defined Radix in the first place as coming into being, emerging simultaneously, both spirit and energy, as if they were combined when they come into existence. Okay, that's an origin, let's call it a fantasy. So if that is the case, then that means that all of the processes of thought that have been around in the world forever have either been on one side of this or the other. We have religion, spirituality, and we have mechanism, materialism, scientism, if you will, that approach reality from two different standpoints. And that split is so pervasive. And I think that the Radix, talking about the Radix as the origin of these two areas, is a new way, a good way, a way that answers many questions for inquiring minds to use their as-if function and to try to make sense of things. Right now we have materialists that say the mind originated from all the material things that finally were so complicated that it had to produce a living, thinking organism, human beings. On the other hand, we have the spiritual part that has a creator that creates us and creates all matter, and who knows what came before that. So there's a lot of questions in metaphysics and philosophy that have not been answered, that have been used and abused. And I think notions about the Radix as an as-if function may be the new myth that we need in the world. That's how I think. That's radical. There's another word that came from the Radix.
And how does that tie in with like personal meaning making and what the channel's about, with art as personal development and with like the expressional learning methods we had previously mentioned here?
If what I'm saying about coming to terms with using art as personal development, I'm saying that there's a way that embodiment itself and the memories that we have and the things that we're trying to draw forth from our own practices will get you in touch with those parts of your life that were, I use the term, talk together. If my thoughts on this are correct, and that the human organism is this combination of mind and body, as not separated, as conjoined, then that information that we have all tucked away, we've all done this, we all know that we disown parts of ourselves, those parts are still available to us. And the techniques we use are designed to get more of yourself and what you may have ignored over a lifetime, as a matter of fact, and how we can get that back into your consciousness by finding the place where it is. It's in your own body. That's the nature of embodiment. So without a consistent view of how consciousness and material, our own flesh and blood, are connected, we would not have an approach at all. We'd still be floundering in what is consciousness, what is matter, So a consistent view is our promise. It's the promise that that art itself and how you approach it can be a fulfilling part in your life. How you can use what you already have. It's a way of learning. That's why it's a way of development.
We'll get back on it in the next episodes here coming up as far as what more we'll need to cover with Radix. And I know there's a lot to it, and making it, smaller, more digestible content like we're doing here is probably for the best as we start to, step further and further into those realms.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, as always, a pleasure, Aldo. Again, everything in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we do very much welcome any comments or any questions below.